Hello, and welcome to our I believe it's the seventh vlog in our series of Wayne and I.
Mm-hmm.
Our SoulFullHeart vlog.
It is.
7?
7.
So, we've kind of been letting the topics arise for us every day. I mean, sometimes we have a sense of what we want to talk about, but other times it's just what comes up in our process and in our hearts, and then we decide, well, let's share that on video.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely what happened. There's a little hair there. That's definitely what happened this morning. Is
Yeah.
I literally sat down at my computer at 7 in the morning. I feel barely awake, really, a little grumpy at you for waking me up early. And suddenly, conversation with Mother comes out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And just to set that up a bit, I've been connecting with an energy that I feel as the Divine Mother. That's primarily what I call her, although she has many faces and names. I've been connecting with her for probably 4 years now, and the last year really in a much more intimate way. It's really deepening. I would say in a more public way as well. I did a 60 days with Divine Mother that's on our blog. And for those 60 days, I would just show up every morning and say, hello, Mother. And she would say, hello, Jillian. And whatever was in my heart, I shared my processes with her. In SoulFullHeart, we work with a daemon energy, which is our soul guardian. And mine's name is Morgane. And she had a lot of history of goddess worship. So I brought to the Mother that Morgane came up pretty strong in the beginning, and was really attached to this idea of the will of the goddess, and was having a hard time feeling this mother energy. You know, Morgane said, Mother isn't nurturing. I haven't known goddess to be nurturing. So when you're offering Mother, I'm having a hard time with it. So Mother really talked with her, invited her into her arms, and Morgane started to experience one of the faces of the Divine Mother, which is the motherly face. Probably what most people associate with Mary, Mother Mary. And so I really got to explore these different energies of the Divine Mother, including a Kuan Yin or more of a Buddhistic energy, Kali, which is the Dark Mother. And that face is a crucial balancing act. You know, you have the Mother energy, which is more light, but then where there's light, there is always dark. And Kali, the Dark Mother energy, Dark Madonna also, is really about death and rebirth. And it's a critical energy. So we're not just offering this motherly, nurturely, come into my arms energy. That's there. But also a mother an unsentimental mother, who will kick you out of the nest so that you can fly, was another aspect. And another one was Magdalene, which is the lover and sister, and also access to intuitive gifts and psychic gifts. And so each face represents an aspect of us, is my sense of it, men and women, or women and men. So
What I'm touched by as you're just so launching into this is just how natural and native it feels to you. And I'm listening a little bit through the ears of someone who'd be watching this video, and normally they've felt so much woo-woo around connection with the Divine Mother or a divine guide.
I'm basically saying that I speak to God.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And others would totally have this disqualifying energy, like, whoa, you're like a guru status, you know, like, I don't know, whatever you're talking about doesn't, that's an attainment that I can't even imagine. And I love how that doesn't even register in you. I feel a little bit of a heart pang towards those that are feeling that are
which is
schooled in
millions.
the woo-woo and the disqualifying.
Well, it's not just the woo-woo, it's also religions, mainstream religions. And so it's millions, billions of people that look outside of themselves for their own authority around having a connection with God. So rather than seeing it some anointed special thing, you know, I can't say Mother has offered me that I have had lifetimes of God worship, of devotional worship, a nun and a monk, and certainly a priestess. That's what Morgaine holds. So I've spent a lot of my soul incarnations working on this.
Right.
So that's true.
Right.
So there is
And
something special about that.
There's a carryover of that.
There's a carryover. In my ease with God, which I didn't even identify with God for most of my adult life.
Mm-hmm.
And still, this
It was
life.
dormant this life.
Yeah, until I started my emotional process. Mm-hmm. Then it woke up because and this was kind of the point of today, and the point of a blog that I did this morning. That's where I was going with all of this, was that I had a conversation with Mother. She's very weavy too, so you can kind of keep me. I have a lot of her energy moving through me right now, so you can keep me on track a little bit. But the conversation I had this morning,
I don't think I'm going to keep Mother on track. Mother goes off track. She goes
about
four-wheeling, off-roading.
That's totally true. The conversation was about creating a healing experience with God or Goddess. You know, Divine Father, Divine Mother, whatever you want to call those energies. But that we really create our experience based on our wounding or our health. So one of the pieces she offered today was wounded people create a wounded God, or a God who wounds them. Whereas people who are healing create a healing God, or a God who heals them. And that I hadn't quite had it put to me that way before, that directly. So she's basically saying, to qualify to connect with me, everyone can connect with me. She's so accessible. That's why I feel her saying, anyone can connect with me. But to really feel the deeper textures of what she's offering about your goodness and the joy you can experience this life and your sacred humanity, your unworthiness, your emotional unworthiness and your emotional wounding won't let it in. So if you feel blocked to this energy I'm talking about, what do you mean by Divine Mother? I don't even get it. I don't feel it. I don't know what you're talking about. It's because parts of you won't let you feel it. It's not to go to find the perfect guru or find the perfect spiritual path or go join another religion. It's not out here.
Yeah.
It's in here.
I like to say it's one of those situations that there's good news and there's good news. The good news is that the Mother's love is here and available to all, and the fact that you're not experiencing it, that's not bad news.
Yeah.
It's also good news. The good news is that the block is here.
Right.
It's
it's
up to us.
You have all the power. So she said today, you've made yourself powerless by putting it in the hands of somebody else. Whether it's the church or the Bible or a guru or whatever, putting it in the hands of someone else,
Attainment.
You're making yourself powerless, and then you can play victim, which also makes you powerless. Rather than, what if you right now started thinking, I can connect to the divine. It's absolutely in my power to do that.
My birthright.
And then the next question would be, why aren't you? Why aren't I? What's getting in the way? And again, it's not because you don't have the perfect meditation or the right mantra or you haven't read the right spiritual text or you need to go to confession. It's because you're wounded, as we all are. So we all have this absolute capacity, this seed of sacred humanity inside of us that is waiting for water. But we have to heal our way there. And in trying to avoid doing that for our entire history as a species, look what it's wrought. Because not rot, R-O-T. Not having...
The rot.
Yeah, not having the connection. What it costs us is not having this connection, is that we have no bigger sense of ourselves and why we are here. We have no sense of meaning. And once we lose meaning, we lose purpose. And when you lose purpose, you just want to die. And we have parts of us that just want to die. Because what is the point? If content is our meaning, which for majority of people it's content, gives them meaning, at the end of the day, that's not enough for the human soul. It's just not enough.
I was stuck a little bit back there a while ago. We were talking about the difference between connection with the Divine Mother and this thing about birthright versus entitlement.
Yeah.
You've brought this before, I believe it from one of your dialogues with her, which is it's your birthright, but you're not entitled to it.
Right.
What's the difference?
Well, the birthright is this acknowledgement that we all have this seed of sacred humanity inside of us, that we're actually, that seed we're a part of the divine. So the divine is actually trying to feel itself through us. This is also why it doesn't interfere. You know, people say, why would God allow these awful things to happen? Because we're wounded and we allow these things to happen. It's not going to intervene against our sovereignty or our free will. If it does that, it's making clones of itself, and that's not the point. The point is that to this human experiment to find its way, even if that way is in destruction, it will let us self-destruct if that's what we decide we need to do. So we have this birthright of this seed, but if we feel entitled to it, that's a whole different energy.
Yeah.
Most people, though, that's not the issue. They don't feel worthy. Entitlement can be a form of not feeling worthy, actually.
Flip side of the
Flip
same.
side, right. But most people, that's not the issue. It's that they and their parts and their daemon don't feel worthy to claim this.
Totally.
And they don't have the support system that says you are worthy to claim this. Not only are you worthy, it's natural. It's way more natural. This is why religions are not answering the major issues of our times. This is why religions aren't healing people.
We're at peak religion.
They lead to they lead to war. War.
What did Mother say today?
Well, I pretty much encapsulated it, I
What I
think.
think I'd like you to read.
Well, I don't want to read the whole.
Read some of the dialogue. I think just the tone and the feeling tone and the texture.
Well, she said, as we said already, wounded people create a God who wounds them. Healing people create a God who heals them. So she said, you have created me out of your desire to experience a very different God and goddess energy from that which you have known for many lifetimes. That felt really true. That I was tired of the God of the Bible. I wanted a God that was loving and nurturing. So then I said back to her, it feels odd for me to let in that I created you. And she said, everyone creates their own God experience, Jillian. That's how personal it is, even though they act like it is not personal at all and is held by someone else or the church or a pastor or a priest. And I said, whoa, Mother, this feels big to let in. I feel my heart and soul perk up around it. And she said, people make themselves powerless before a God that they claim they didn't create and that they let someone else create for them. They also make themselves powerless in relationship to healing themselves because they falsely believe that they are stuck with whatever they emotionally experience about their lives.
Yum.
Yeah.
I could just let you read that.
Well, it's on the blog.
And close
so.
my eyes and take it in. It's
Yeah.
on the blog. Right,
Yeah,
right
I
here,
will
right?
put a caption. Yeah, it's
I like
really
what you
what
said at the beginning too. You touched on about the authenticity of the connection, and you got a moment for that piece at the beginning of that blog, or do you want to just speak to it?
Yeah.
How we feel. What are you really?
Well, that's actually
do
what
you
led.
really have accurate divine access, and we kind of bust that whole question with a relaxation into heart and trust, knowing that we're creating it.
I'm not sure how it came up today, but
And Mother even touched on it, that the voice that comes back to you comes through your heart, mind, and conditioning. It's not, so it would sound different from one person to the next.
Yeah, she uses words and language. I mean, if you're Chinese, she'll speak Chinese to
Yes.
you. This is another reason the Bible is so ridiculous to me, because it doesn't not a language I can understand or most people can even relate to.
Thou canst?
No, I can't. And so she often has emphasized how she will feel like part of you. But it's a part of you that you really want to know. That's loving, challenging, your biggest advocate, has your back and your heart at the same time. And so she said to me today, so what if you created me? Aren't I a part that you'd like to get to know, that's worth knowing? And I said, absolutely. And that's what led to this, we all create our God experience.
Right. And so we have a God experience, then we seek a frame around it. And even the mother keeps challenging us, Divine Father, Divine Mother, and the Yeshua journaling we've done. It always, we set up this little frame around it, and even that doesn't really contain it or hold it very well. I put a Christian frame around my sense of divine access that I had early in my life.
We're still trying to define something mentally. Your framing is mental. We're even trying to communicate something mental to you that is not mental.
Yeah. We're honoring that we're mental beings, and so we have this capacity, and we're prone that way to go mental.
Right.
But boy, do we ever trip on it. And this authentication question, is it real? Is a real diehard one that's born in the mental, and the ascension of the mental over the emotional. And you can't prove this, that it has a God access, but you can feel the God access in this.
That's why she calls it, you create your God experience, not your God knowledge. It's not about knowing, it's about experiencing. And we create our own realities anyway. Totally. Create all of our own realities.
I like the one we're creating now.
Me too. So I think we're out of time.
Well, are we?
Well, Mother will be an ongoing conversation, just like Yeshua. Yeah. I do want to mention that I also wrote a book about connecting with Mother, In the Arms of Mother, it's called, and I offer that on our Soulful Heart Books website. And I'm really asking for donations or, reading that. What do you feel you want to give for it financially?
As opposed to a sticker price?
Yeah, although it is also available in print edition as well on Lulu. I think for $20 you can get it. One thing it offers is a lot more exploration into the four faces. And mostly what I share is my experiences. So that, rather than my knowledge, my experiences, so that you can see what percolates in you. And also quite a bit about the Soulful Heart Way of Life, about relationships, about sexuality, and a lot about current events as well, and the times that we're living in.
Yeah.
So
it's stunning. That book is stunning. If your heart resonates with what you're feeling between Jillian and I right now, I know that book will transmute and transform your life from where you are right now to your next step.
It's kind of one of those that you have by your bedside, and you pick it up just to see what it says.
All the people that have taken it in, that we've been in touch with, have felt truly transmuted and changed, and it's rocked their world in this mother way. And so it would I really encourage you to make that part of your life.
Thanks, Lon. Well, it doesn't feel like I wrote it in another way, but it did come through me, and I did show up for it.
You sure did.
To come through me. Okay, thank you for joining us today.
See you on day 8.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.